It was a chilly October evening when Jake, Emily, and Noah decided to check out a small, traveling carnival that had set up on the edge of their town. Halloween was just around the corner, and they were excited to get into the spooky spirit. The carnival lights twinkled in the distance, casting an eerie glow over the empty field, and the sounds of laughter mixed with strange, offbeat carnival music filled the air. As they wandered through the grounds, they sampled cotton candy, tried a few rigged games, and laughed at each other's attempts to win cheap stuffed animals. But what caught their attention the most was a dark, nearly hidden tent at the far end of the carnival. The sign above its entrance read, "The Clown's Domain. Dare to enter." Emily shuddered when she saw it. "I don't know about you guys, but clowns creep me out," she admitted, glancing nervously at the entrance. "Oh, come on, Emily," Jake teased. "It's just a bunch of people in costumes. Besides, look at that line, it must be the main attraction here." Noah grinned and nudged her. "I say we go in. We'll hold your hand if you get scared," he joked. Reluctantly, Emily agreed, and they joined the line. They noticed that everyone who entered seemed to exit the tent either laughing nervously or visibly shaken, sharing wide-eyed looks with each other. Inside, the maze was dark, illuminated only by eerie red lighting that cast long, flickering shadows. Life-size clown mannequins lined each side of the pathway, their faces painted in garish colors with grins stretched far too wide. Each clown was posed differently, some with arms outstretched, some crouched low, and some simply staring forward, their eyes seemingly following every movement. As they walked deeper into the maze, laughter and jokes gave way to nervous silence. Emily could feel her heart racing with each turn. She felt as though they were being watched, and every time she glanced back, she could almost swear she saw something shifting in the shadows. At one turn, Jake froze. "Did anyone else just see that?" he whispered, his voice tight. "See what?" Noah asked, frowning. "I swear, one of the clowns just moved," Jake said, glancing around nervously. Emily's stomach twisted as she whispered, "Let's get out of here. This isn't funny anymore." But just as they turned to leave, the lights in the maze flickered and went out, plunging them into pitch blackness. The carnival sounds from outside seemed to vanish, leaving them in eerie silence. "Stick together," Noah whispered, but his voice sounded hollow and shaky. They tried to retrace their steps, but their sense of direction faded quickly. The darkness and their own racing footsteps filled them with dread as they realized they were completely lost. Suddenly, Emily heard a soft giggle echo through the maze, the sound chilling her to her core. "What was that?" she hissed, grabbing Jake's arm tightly. "It's just..." They moved faster, taking random turns, hoping to find an exit. At one point, they stumbled upon a faint glow in the distance, an exit sign, barely visible. Relief flooded them as they approached it, but then a shadow blocked their path. It was a clown, larger than the others they had seen, with a distorted smile painted on its face and eyes that seemed far too real. It stood motionless, watching them with its head tilted to the side, as if daring them to come closer. Emily let out a small gasp, her heart pounding as they skidded to a halt. What do we do?" she whispered, voice barely above a whisper. Noah swallowed, stepping back. "It's just part of the act, right?" Panic surged through them, and they turned and ran in the opposite direction, darting back into the maze. But the corridors seemed to shift, twisting into new paths that only led them deeper. They could hear footsteps behind them, steady, calm, as if the clown was following them at its own pace, confident it would catch them eventually. Finally, they stumbled into another room, a dead end filled with more clown mannequins. They huddled together, each of them terrified to move as the mannequins seemed to close in on them. Emily felt as though the painted eyes were fixed on her, watching, waiting. Then, out of the corner of her eye, Emily saw one of the clowns slowly turning its head to look at them. She let out a stifled scream as she realized that every clown in the room was now staring directly at them, their faces twisted into horrifying grins. "We have to get out," Jake whispered, voice barely audible. Without another word, they scrambled to their feet and bolted toward the exit they'd entered from. Every turn seemed to lead to another cluster of clowns, each one staring as they passed, some even appearing to shift and twitch. Their breathing was loud and labored as they sprinted through the maze, desperately searching for the way out. Finally, they saw the exit sign once again, glowing faintly in the dark. They rushed toward it, but the large clown from before was waiting, blocking the doorway. Noah clenched his fists, a surge of anger and fear overwhelming him. "I don't care if this is part of the act, we're getting out of here." He charged forward, trying to push past the clown. As he reached it, the clown's hand shot out, gripping his arm with an iron grip. Its painted smile grew wider, revealing a set of unnaturally sharp teeth that glinted in the dim light. Noah struggled, his face contorted in pain as he tried to pull free. "Help me," he cried. Emily and Jake lunged forward, grabbing Noah's other arm and pulling with all their strength. With one final, desperate tug, they managed to break him free, stumbling back and nearly falling. The clown stood still, its eyes following them as they backed away, its head tilting ever so slightly, as if amused by their terror. The trio bolted through the exit, bursting out into the open air. But as they looked around, they realized something was wrong. The carnival was gone. The lights, the music, the laughter, all of it had vanished, leaving only an empty, silent field under the moonlight. Where did everything go?" Emily whispered, her voice shaking. Noah looked down at his arm, wincing at the red marks left by the clown's grip. "I don't know, but let's get out of here, now." Without looking back, they sprinted to their car, hearts pounding. As they drove away, they each cast one last glance at the empty lot, unable to shake the feeling that they were being watched. The carnival was never seen again, but for years afterward, each of them would have nightmares of that dark maze, the painted grins, and the mocking laughter that still haunted them.